to reach the 5-yard line. That's where Curtis has to go for a first down here on about 3rd down and 5 to start the 4th quarter. St. Aug with a precarious 5-point lead. Curtis with 3 tight ends in the game. Option right, and a whistle blows, and let's see what the call is. It'll be a big one.
The offense, the right guard attack. I want you to pick up which one. Okay, guard.
Encroachment. Encroachment. Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the offense.
Well, Jeff Curtis thought it was on St. Aug, but instead it's on Curtis. So now.
Foul down there like that. My goodness.
JT obviously not happy with that one, Ed.
Well, we need to save that for Friday Night Football. And
it sure looks there like they got off the ball a little soon.
I would call that illegal procedure.
Yeah, maybe encroachment isn't the right word, yeah.
I thought encroachment was when the defense did.
Maybe it's the wrong word, but it looked like they did jump early.
Maybe when you come on tomorrow night, you can ask him about that after you ask him why he ran the ball late in the first half. You can get a 2-for-1 there. Nonetheless, it's 3rd down and 10, an obvious passing down, and a screen is coming. It's a good one to Dukes. The flag is down.
Might be some hope.
Dukes will score, but it probably will not count.
I think they got some holding on that end.
Holding on Curtis will wipe out the screen pass for a touchdown to Kevin Dukes.
And JT is really unhappy with that because that was a beautifully set up play. You can see when Dukes caught the ball, the only danger of him getting caught was Raynoch Thompson coming from behind.
66.
Now here you'll see it again. Watch this, Buford.
Right here.
Just clear sailing. You can see they let the line in. Textbook screen pass. You can see all he needs is one block, and he gets it there from Tony Cunningham, and he goes in.
Well, fellas, looking at the replay, I have to say that it looks like Eckert, 66, did hold Kenneth Jackson. It looked like a good call.
Right here.
You see it right there in the middle.
Right there.
Jackson.
He tackled him.
Well, you really can't see it from that angle, but from the other angle,
you could see that he basically tackled him.
he reached around and grabbed that shirt.
He did.
So I think it was a good call.
So instead of 1st and 10 at the goal at the 10,
you're playing
1st and goal at the 25.
3rd and 20 from the 25,
that's right.
which is almost as bad. Jeff Curtis has got time. Now he's in trouble. He's got to run, and he's got an alley. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Curtis! As the senior quarterback ad-libs his way 25 yards for a Curtis touchdown.
And Tony Villegas obviously disgusted with the defense on that one. They played solid defense. Jeff Curtis had no one open, and it looked like the rush is on him, Buford, and he makes a terrific move to get right here, beating Raynoch Thompson right there at the quick move, getting through the hole, and then picking up blocks from his receivers.
He really did, and he just did an outstanding job of running right here. Right here. That was just a great job of getting the ball in the end zone.
Jeff Curtis takes it into his own hands, and he's got Curtis ahead now, 20-19.
As a defensive coach, right now you have to be ecstatic.
You do everything right except tackle the quarterback.
Well, Curtis calls a timeout as Joey LaBella, the place kicker, went out thinking he was going to try to kick for 1, but instead the Patriots will probably go for 2. JT and his team have a 1-point lead over the Purple Knights with 11:15 to play. Buford Jordan and our sideline reporters Tom Bagwell and Alexander Laurent back here at Tad Gormley Stadium. 11:15 to go in the game. John Curtis 20, St. Aug 19. On 3rd and 20 at the Purple Knight 25. Patriot quarterback Jeff Curtis went back to pass. Couldn't find an open man and ran 25 yards on an ad-lib for a touchdown. They thought about going for 1. They'll go for 2. Ricky Brandt is split right, 2 tight ends behind Jeff Curtis, who keeps it and is in the end zone for the 2-point conversion in a 3-point Patriot lead.
And Ed, that's one thing Jeff Curtis seems to be really good at, is putting the ball in the end zone. Last year he only rushed for 305 yards, but 12 touchdowns.
Well, Curtis wins that battle at the point of attack. They lead by 3 as we move on at Gormley. John Curtis into a 3-point lead with 11:15 to go here in the second annual WGNO Prep Kickoff Classic. Kick is on the ground. It'll be fielded by Burks. Picked it up at his 28. He moves forward to the 36 for a return of 8 yards. Well, we've heard and talked so much about the Four Horsemen in '93. They were really extraordinary.
And those are just the rushing yards, Ed.
Right, and tonight, a pass of touchdowns, 29. And tonight, they've been held to a total of 60 yards by my calculations. The big story in the game for St. Aug has been a 85-yard punt return for a touchdown by Jameel Barnes and the 39-yard kickoff return that helped the Knights as well. Kareem Evans will throw it. Looks deep down the middle. Got a man. Can't hold on. He had Derek Lewis, but on the wet turf, it appeared that Lewis had to stop and wait for the ball. Slipped and fell down. Now let's go over to Tom Bagwell, who has the Saints Pro Bowl kick returner, Tyrone Hughes, the former Purple Knight, class of '88, here tonight. Let's go to Tom.
Ed, he could return him for St. Aug as he did so well, and he was one of the airmen, a wide receiver. What do you remember most fondly about your days here, Tyrone?
Just basically the guys, you know, myself, Stanley Barrett, Lewis Hayes, Jackie Rowan. I mean, we had an NFL-type team out there, you know, especially compared to the guys that we were playing against. You know, our line probably averaged close to 300 pounds, you know, which is awesome for a high school team to do. And we basically ran over a lot of our opponents. And I think looking at this team here right now, you know, they're a lot further along than what they were at this time last year. So I think they'll pull it out.
Let's quickly make some news. Everyone's talking about Deion Sanders possibly coming to the Saints. My first reaction is the Saints have someone who can return punts and who can return kicks. What are your thoughts about what Deion Sanders could mean to this team? And do you think the Saints need a guy like that?
I mean, obviously he would help. I think, you know, I don't think he's coming in just with a special teams thing. Obviously he's going to help out as far as his defensive back skills, and I think that's what they're looking at.
And a quick prediction for Sunday.
We're going to win.
Terrific. Thanks, Tyrone Hughes. And back up to you, Ed. We'll see Tyrone for the presentation of the trophy at the end of the ballgame.
Thank you, Tom. 3rd down and 13 for Aug. Evans looks and tries to find Nemesis Bates in traffic. Orgeron is unhappy. He thought he had a chance for the pick.
Look here, Buford, like Bates had a shot at this ball again, and another pass that St. Aug could have come up with that they didn't.
Yeah, right. He should have had that ball right in his hands. You know you're going to get hit, so you have to be ready to hold on to it. That was a good pass. He had time to catch it, pull it in. Just got to be ready to be hit.
And the jugs are rolling for Ricky Brandt with that hit.
Well, fellas, the pass by Evans was on the money, but Bates was his own nemesis. I just couldn't resist. The punt by Thurl Green is a pretty good one. Duke's on the run at his 38. He has a picket fence set up. He's at the 40. He cuts across the field. He's at the 35, the 32-yard line, and we have flags everywhere. Let's see what it's all about. The tackle by Sean Johnson. The return of 30 yards for Dukes.
I think we've got two teams here, Ed, that both need to work on their kick coverage.
We have an illegal procedure foul against the kicking team. Is refused. We're going to play first down.
Big play here for Curtis. Buford, this is a drive now, up by 3. They can put it in the end zone. It's going to be tough for St. Aug.
It really will, and you know, that was a great return to set it up like this, especially after the drive they had to get in the end zone, and now to come back with something like this could break their back.
Well, one thing you try to do is you try to set up a return left like this and get a picket fence going, Buf, and they appeared to do a decent job of it.
They really did. They had it walled off pretty good. This one guy broke the wall, but hey, he was still able to get some yards and do some nice things and get him in good field position.
Well, better than good. It's great at the 32-yard line of Aug. A handoff up the middle. A flag on the middle of the foul. We either have a holding or a face mask, I would guess.
It looked like the holding area.
And that's Jonathan Wells, the big freshman. This is really an impressive-looking kid for a freshman, hitting up in the hole. Buford, look at this kid. Does this kid look like a freshman to you?
No, he really doesn't, and he runs with good authority. Look at the leg drive. He has good leg drive that keeps him going. See them legs constantly moving.
And is it a holding or a face mask?
It's
and
to the line.
And let's see if we can see a face mask
Right
here.
here.
Right there. And it looks like it was a little tug. That's Travis Taylor.
On the offense, 10 yards. We'll replay it down.
Well, fellas, they didn't call that. They called holding.
They called holding.
That was not a tug.
This is what the guy told me. John Peel, on one of the guys on Curtis' team, said call the freshman Wildcat.
Wildcat.
Wildcat. I guess it's because of the way he runs.
Certainly impressive at this point.
Well, Tony Villegas watching his defense work against J.T. Curtis's offense. Patriots back at their 42. They're going to run the little hound, who does a good job of staying on his feet. Inside the 33-yard line, tackle again by Sean Goodwin, and let's call it a gain of 8, 9. According to our stat man, Wayne Thomas Barber.
And this is the little hound there. Good balance, Buford.
He really is.
That's 6, 7 yards after he could have been down.
That really is. Really has 10 yards off, after that, because thing is, that's about the second or third time this game he's done that.
Well, Strawn knows the offense. He's been at Curtis since the 5th grade. The handoff inside to Wells. To the 28. 8:56 to play. And if you're St. Aug here, you need a stop. And this may be 4-down territory for JT and his staff.
And this is big. This is the game, really. If Curtis can put it in the end zone, it's an awful lot of pressure on St. Aug. And you've got 2 downs here with about 6, 7 yards to go. Jeff Curtis, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns. Terrific night for him. He's had a couple of drop balls, or else his passing stats would be better than they are. But this kid has made a lot of good decisions, and the touchdown run to put him up was just a super individual effort. Tony Villegas is not happy about Curtis's efforts tonight.
Well, the coach says, come on. Curtis is going to have to hurry to get this one off. They do. Jeff will keep it. He won't make the first down, or will he? He looks like at least a yard short. So it'll be a 4th down situation, we're going to call it. The tackle by Wayne Cordova, again, number 46. And a gain down to the 24. A 5-yard gain by Jeff Curtis. Nothing fancy. He just goes around the end.
Around the end, keeps it. Nice move on the defensive back, getting inside. Buford, call this next play. What do you do?
I'd basically do the same thing they did on the other ones. Make them think you're going to hand to the first guy and run the option.
Well,
run it to the far side of the field.
The crowd stirs. They know this is a big moment in the game. 4th down and about a yard. They go straight ahead.
Quarterback sneak.
They have the first down and more inside the 20.
Now, Buford, how good of a call is that on that play? You're expecting the option, which takes a second or 2 to develop, and instead Curtis just takes the ball, pops right into the line. You can almost catch the defense not quite ready.
Really was, and the thing is that they had good surge by the front guys that enabled that play to work. So I guess that's what he was saying. If you got enough, just take it straight behind those guys.
Well, the Purple Knight defense wants to talk about stopping this guy. 7:15 to play. John Curtis with a 3-point lead in the Kickoff Classic. On back here at the WGNO Kickoff Classic. Ball's at the 20-yard line. We should mention tonight that Wells and Strawn have gotten a lot of work because Kevin Dukes has played a little bit tonight with a little bit of a ding. He's got a pulled left hamstring.
Yeah, JT Kitten says it's not bad, and it's not the kind of thing that will really affect his season. But for these teams, this is an important game, but it's still a preseason game from district, and they're not going to risk any of their, key players.
Well, Curtis lines up. 2 tight ends, and Powell split right. They hand it back this way, and it looks like Dukes. And it is. He's down to the 18-yard line. The tackle by Robert Nixon, the man who wore 33 last year for John Curtis. Chris Howard is a starter on the kickoff return team at Michigan. He's expected to play against Boston College in the 5-2-2 set. He's in the second group of receivers. He's also running 3rd team at tailback with Tyrone Wheatley out. He won't be back until Colorado at the earliest. Also, Bobby Powers is a 5th-year senior, the Curtis linebacker at Michigan. He'll play a lot at inside linebacker this year. So 2 guys who have gone on to bigger and better things as Wolverines. The officials finally blow that one dead after a determined run by Dukes. Raynock Thompson with the tackle, and Tony Villegas is asking for work.
And on that one, Buford, that was just Dukes deciding he wanted it more.
It really was, because it looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Next thing you know, you see him with Renard hanging on him for about another 5 yards. So.
And that's what had Tony Villegas so upset. It was that they were there, and Dukes just outfought him for the yards.
Exactly. You can tell the guy has tremendous leg strength.
3rd down and about 3. Curtis needs to get just inside the 10 for a 1st down. They hand it to Dukes, and he does the job. He's down to the 8. It'll be 1st and goal for the Patriots with 5:35 and counting. Here in the 4th quarter, John Curtis leads by 3, and they could be on the way to more with runs like this.
And you can see 71 there. That's Baglio with a terrific block to clear out. And you said this, Buford. Curtis has got to try to run that clock, and they've got it now, approaching 5 minutes to go in the game with the ball inside the 10 and a 3-point lead.
Exactly. They're playing exactly the type of game that JT's likes to play, and taking the clock away from St. Aug.
Godfrey has appeared at right tackle for Curtis, and he's done a good job tonight. Nothing doing on that play. It's 55 Seymour, who has been a busy man tonight at his weak linebacker spot, makes the tackle for no gain. So Godfrey has played, and here's 2 guys in their offensive line, Godfrey and Bates, who can basically go anywhere they want. They can pick any Division I school in the country.
Yeah, Godfrey and Baglio are both
Godfrey and Baglio.
Both terrific players, both among the state's best offensive linemen. They're both huge. Godfrey 6'5", 290. Baglio is 6'3", 290. And they're both good enough to play guard or tackle.
St. Aug's only had the ball for 6.5 minutes here in the 2nd half, as the Patriots have played ball control. It's at the 8, 2nd down. Hand off to Strawn. Tries the left side. He's over the 6, close to the 5, so it'll be 3rd down and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. We've reached the 4-minute mark.
And Buford, the key here, if St. Aug can still hold them and keep Curtis at the end zone, their backs are so fast, they don't need a ton of time. They just need to keep it within 1 touchdown, right?
Exactly. The thing is the key is just like you said. They need to stop them here on these next 2 plays. If they can keep them out the end zone, they still have a chance. That's
3:40 to go in the game. And a 3rd down and goal at the 5. Jeff Curtis with a flag down. Has a man in the end zone open for a touchdown, but it's probably coming back, and it's probably motion. And it is. So a Curtis touchdown is wiped out. The Patriots will go back to the 10 and play a 3rd down and goal.
And Ed, that's the 3rd time Curtis has put it in the end zone and had it called back. But it was clearly motion by the back on that play.
It really was. And the thing is that St. Aug was looking for the run so bad that they forgot all about that. John Curtis can't pass when they have to.
The touchdown pass from Curtis to Rocky Curl is nullified. The ball just outside the 10. 3rd and goal for the Patriots.
What St. Aug doesn't want to happen is a replay of the last touchdown.
Yeah, last touchdown, Curtis had 2 touchdowns called back, and on the 3rd play is when Jeff Curtis made the ad-lib 25-yarder. They scored 3 straight plays, the first 2 being called back.
Right.
Jeff Curtis, part of a fine Curtis quarterback tree. We'll talk about that in a minute, but first a timeout. It looks like a penalty. We've got a penalty on the field. Or do we?
We definitely have confusion.
We have that. Lenny Reese asked for an official's timeout.
On the offense.
JT Curtis, I think, is pointing out to Lenny Reese that they went on the clock. The delay of game penalty. The ball's back to the 15. JT wants to talk to the officials.
He obviously thought he had more time than he did.
We watched the clock the whole way. When you did this, we started counting the time, Lenny.
The clock wasn't supposed to be running.
Why? You started it,
No,
though.
it is. Ball went in the end zone.
The clock was okay. I'm telling you, we blew that one bad.
Right here, right here.
Well, I think he got his point across, but he's not going to win.
Yeah, but I tell you what, he's a very calm coach. I know these are other coaches.
And here you'll see the motion. That is clearly the little hound moving early on the touchdown. So no doubt it was the right call. JT obviously not happy with that one.
But the clock was running. It was at 3:27 after the last penalty. It's at 3:08 now.
And that will only hurt St. Aug.
19 seconds did run off. 3rd and goal from the 15. Dukes almost got free. He was a shoestring tackle away from scoring as he's pulled down after a 5-yard gain. So the ball's at the 10, and it's 4th down and goal.
Tell you what, here comes the biggest play of the game right here. 4th and 9. It's going to be the biggest play of the game. This could determine it all.
And Tony Villegas knows it, Buford, because he's got the backs who can put it in the end zone quick if they can get the ball back. But if they're down 10, you can't score 2 touchdowns on one play.
Exactly. They have to be very cautious right here, not to overcommit.
The pitch to Dukes, and he won't make it.
Great defensive play.
He stopped at the 5, but Curtis on this drive burns over 9 minutes on the clock.
Sean
Tackle by Kamal Smith. So even though, Doug, they don't make it here, they've really done their jobs. They've possessed the ball for over 9 minutes, and they've got it inside the 5.
They did their job. They do what they want to do and run the clock, but they didn't put it in the end zone. And again, St. Aug, granted, they're at their own 5-yard line, but they still have a shot in this one. And if Curtis had scored, they wouldn't. So this thing's not over.
It's really far from over. Thing is that was a good job by Kevin Dukes of holding on to that ball, because he really got a good shot from Sean Johnson.
So let's set the game situation here now. St. Aug, 1st down and 10 at their own 5-yard line. 2:15 to play. Curtis leads by 3, and the Purple Knights have 2 timeouts remaining. They run it, and they don't get much, if any.
And Ed, that's Jason Smith, the kid we saw getting iced down earlier, comes back in the game, makes a huge play. Obviously, the ice worked, Buford.
Yes, it did, because he's back in there.
Well, fellas, with 1:56 to play, we've got to pick an MVP in this game. We'll do that after we look at this.
I think we'll find out, Ed, in the next 152, who turns it up here.
And a timeout for St. Aug. Tyrone Hughes will be by to present our MVP trophy after the game. You want to stay with us for that? So with 1:40 to play in the game, it's Curtis 22, St. Aug 19. Stay with us for the finish. With 1:40 to play in the game. Kareem Evans in his end zone. Will unload it. And too high for his special tight end, Derek Lewis, who was good, but not good enough to get that one in.
Nothing doing on that one, Buford. He looked totally covered. I can't imagine a situation where he could have made a catch on that one.
No, it was impossible to catch that.
We've got a flag on the play, and it appears to be a personal foul on Curtis, and they're going to march off 15 big yards. So it could be a huge moment in the game. St. Aug not only gets a 1st down, they're outside the shadow of their own goalpost, and they have some room to work here with 1:34 to play.
And a 1st down, too. That could be very costly, especially at this time of the game.
Well, St. Aug sends Binks in the slot to the right. They're going to throw it. As Evans throws it up there, and it's picked off. Mike O'Brien, the safety on the tip ball, comes down with it at the St. Aug 42-yard line, and that may cook The Purple Knights goose.
And that's O'Brien's second interception of the game. The junior strong safety makes the nice play. The ball looks like it goes off of Barnes' hands, Jameel Barnes, and O'Brien, nice adjustment to the ball, and that's the kind of play you need to wrap up a win.
It really is, but I mean, he tried to throw the ball a little too hard for a guy that's only 10 yards away, and what happened, the ball just took off. As you can see right there, it was rising the whole time it was headed towards him.
Well, the pass was intended for Bates, who couldn't catch it, and O'Brien did before it hit the turf. 1:27 to play, and the Patriots are in the prevent offense as Jeff Curtis takes a knee. And St. Aug uses a timeout.
We believe that's St. Aug's last timeout, too.
Yes, it was. I tell you, the thing that really hurt St. Aug, I think, in this half was that when they did get in the offense, they didn't go with that power eye formation that helped them so well in the first half. They started doing, pitches from the I formation, and they got away from the three-back formation that was doing so well in the first half, and it really hurt them this half.
Well, one of the things, Buford, that you can't line up in the power I if you don't have the ball, and Curtis really had the ball a lot in this half. They really played ball possession.
They really did, but the thing was, when they got their first possession, is when they got away from it. They did not get in the three-back formation in the opening kickoff for the third quarter, and hey, they didn't get a chance to get the ball again after that.
The first half, Ed, we talked about the Curtis offensive line not quite coming up to what we expected them to be. Obviously, in the second half, it's been that offensive line that has been the difference.
St. Aug has had the ball for only 6 minutes and 45 seconds in the second half. And they're in the prevent. It has to be a little bit more than that, we think, but you get the idea. It's been a very brief time here in the second half. Well, fellas, we've had two quality games here in the Kickoff Classic. This year's game has been really a good matchup. And next year we're working on years 3 and 4, and we're working on a little bit of a surprise. But we can't tell you about it just yet.
That's unfair. That's unfair.
In the television business, it's called a tease. And we're going to be teasers. So we're working on that for future Kickoff Classics.
And we'll tell you the answer to the tease, what, in about 6 months?
No, we're going to tell you a lot sooner than that. Stay tuned to Friday Night Football. We kick off our third year again, our third year in a row, tomorrow night at 10:30 on WGNO 26.
And they will have to snap the ball one more time. This is 4th down coming up. They're going to have to try to...
Or will they? It looks like they will not have to snap it again. Well, St. Aug led 19-14 at the end of the half. But it's been Curtis in the second half with the only 8 points. Those 8 have been good enough. And that will do it. As Jeff Curtis thinks for a moment of maybe being Forrest Gump, but
I tell you what, I don't think that was too smart of a move. And with the ball being wet, that ball slips out his hand and falls into one of their hands, and they go the other way. That could have been a very ugly play. I think he should have just fell to the ground and ended the game like that.
Well, it ends nonetheless, and J.T. Curtis goes over to find his counterpart. These two teams play each other hard, but there is a tremendous amount of respect.